All right. Hi, YouTube. Hi, TikTok. Hi, guys. How's it going? We're back with another live stream today. I'm going to be looking over here because I'm looking at my TikTok screen and also streaming it on YouTube. Okay. So today's topic, I think what I'm going to do is do a series, right? And on my YouTube channel, it's going to be like every video is going to be a part of this series. And the series is going to be a glow up guide. And then we're just going to do like different topics. I think that's what I want to do. Rather than just doing one video on like a glow up guide, I want to do a series of like a bunch of fun topics. So let me know if that's something that you want to see on YouTube and on TikTok. Okay, so I don't have that long today. I'm going to just get into it, and then whoever wants to join can join. But I can't be on for too long today. But this is today's topic, how to manifest, manifesting 101. Okay, if you're watching this on TikTok, this is getting streamed on my YouTube channel too, so definitely subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to put my YouTube channel in the comments in case you guys don't follow me on there, because all of my videos are recorded and put on there too. So definitely go and subscribe to my channel. How do I pin it? I don't know, but that's my YouTube. So subscribe on there. How do I pin comments? Okay, pin it, comment. Let me know if you guys can see. Okay, all right. So I don't have that long today. Yesterday's live was pretty fun. If you missed it, go and check out my video on my channel. It was like, I decided I'm gonna do a series. I was doing one video and I was gonna call it a glow up guide, and that was just one video. But now I think I'm gonna do a series, and then like every video is gonna go under the series of glow up guide. So I think that's like what I'm gonna do. So yesterday's video was pretty fun. We did just like, we were basically talking about the abundance mindset. And today we're going to be talking about how to manifest, what is manifestation. Because I feel like a lot of people, hi YouTube, thanks for joining. Today's topic is how to manifest, manifesting 101. And I want to just do a quick live stream on what manifesting is, because we hear this topic thrown around a lot. And I kind of just want to like add my own thoughts on this and hear from you guys about what you've manifested or what you're working on manifesting too, because I think it's good to like hear from each other what everybody's working on. So I'm gonna like pull up my notes and stuff, but I want to hear from you guys. What are you working on manifesting? I'm gonna share mine too. One sec. My YouTube thing froze. Give me 1 second, but that's what we're talking about today. What are you guys working on manifesting? And what is manifestation? Because I feel like a lot of people talk about it, but they don't really know what it means, or it sounds like something mystical, but I don't really think it is. I think it's pretty simple, and I feel like I've used it. I feel like a lot of people manifest without even realizing. Like a lot of people already do it, but they don't have a name to what they do, but what they are doing is manifesting. And the thing about manifestation is that like whether or not you're doing it intentionally or not intentionally, it's kind of always working. And that's why like sometimes if you think about something a lot, you're more likely to like observe that thing. So that could be like how you manifest, you know what I mean? But 1 second, I have to do something really quick. I should put some elevator music or something. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you guys a few things that like how I manifested stuff in my life. Good morning, what's the topic today? The topic is how to manifest, manifestation 101. We're going to talk about manifesting. And I want to take out the mystical part and just literally make it like really simple and easy to follow. Because a lot of people hear manifestation and they start thinking about like, I don't know, like different things. And I want to just make it really clear today. So that's what I want to talk about today. Someone said I'm interested. Okay, period. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and I want to hear from you guys. Hi. Thanks for joining today's live. This whole live is going to be recorded and put on my YouTube channel too. We're talking about manifesting 101 and how to manifest, what is manifestation. Okay, so, and also I'm going to have a nerd moment, but if you were on yesterday's live stream, I kept talking about this book, and I have it This is the book I was talking about. I love this book. Okay. This is a book that I keep talking about, and some of my videos are inspired by this book. If you're watching this on YouTube, I always talk about this book. And this is, I think, when we did the live stream on like success mindset, I was talking about something in this book. It was like transmutation, like sexual transmutation or something. So definitely check it out. Yeah. How can I get my spark confidence back when I've been pouring so much attention, focus on my husband? Gotta start taking some time to yourself, taking some more time to yourself. What's your, like, what do you do to relax? That's my first question. Speak into existing. Yeah, that's definitely part of manifesting. I definitely agree. And I think that's why I did the live on how you talk to yourself, because I feel like people talk things over themselves. And like whether you're talking things over yourself that's like positive, like, oh, I look good today, I feel good today, today's going to be a good day, whether you're talking like that over yourself, like life over yourself, or if you're talking like bad about yourself, like you don't look good, you don't feel good, today's not going to be a good day. Either way, it's going to work for you. So like how you talk to yourself is definitely a way that we speak over ourselves. Like, do you look in the mirror and see yourself as somebody that's going to have a good day, that's going to be happy? Like, do you think of yourself in your own mind as a happy person? Sitting in silence and doing breath work. Okay, so that's how you relax. Okay, at least you have something that you go to, but you feel like you've lost your confidence. You lost your spark. Okay, I have a really good video on this actually. It's called How to Get Back Your Sense of Self. And I actually talk in that video about how women tend to lose their identity in relationships and what to do if that's you. So it sounds like that's exactly like what you're talking about. And I totally feel you. Like even people who aren't married and don't have a husband, just have like a boyfriend, we lose our identity even in relationships and stuff too. So definitely go and check out that video. I'm going to put the title in the chat so that you could see that video. It's on my channel. I think a lot of women struggle with that. I don't think it's just you. And that's why I made that video. So definitely look this video up on YouTube. I think that's what you need, period. Yeah, your identity. Yeah, a lot of us lose our identity in relationships, especially I can see it happening in marriage because you're the wife, you're the mom, you're the daughter. Like you have all of these different hats to wear. It's so easy to get lost in that and like in responsibilities. So I totally know what you mean. You should go and watch that. I talk a lot about that there, about finding your identity again. Have you ever over manifested life and it pours in more than you can manage at that time? So you mean like manifesting more than you can handle, like just too many things happening at once? Um, I think I have actually. And you know what's so funny? This is the thing about manifesting, right? Is that you want something so bad and you put your focus on it, and then once you get it, like you also have to now become the person that can like have that thing. So that actually happened to me when I moved, right? Like I was like really trying to move, like, and honestly every time I move it's like a pretty big like change in my life. So like where I've seen manifestation for me happen has been when I've moved, because it's like been upgrade, upgrade. So the last time I moved, I got the place that I wanted. That's where I'm living now. But at the same time, and I wasn't even expecting this, like my relationships, like my friendships, I started to make new friendships, and it was like a whole new like social circle that I manifested. I manifested the place, and I also now have like a different lifestyle that I didn't really know. And at the same time, I was transitioning from my like career to like entrepreneurship. So I guess that's kind of over manifesting, and it's like an adjustment period. I think I think that's what happened. It was like a long adjustment period. And it can be stressful if you don't like if you're not mindful of that. But that's like a thing. Like I literally had to have somebody like talk me through that, because like it was like causing me anxiety. But and it's also like imposter syndrome, because you're like, whoa. I was like, well, at least for me, when it happened to me, I'm like living in this new place and it's like, a different zip code and stuff. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm part of the neighborhood. Like part of me even missed my old neighborhood. Like I was missing that, but this is what I said I wanted. So these are the kind of games that we play on ourselves. Okay, so today's topic is manifesting, how to manifest 101. How do you manifest new friendships, good quality friendships? Actually, I talk about this in my, I love these questions. I can't believe I've been making videos for a long time because I literally feel like I have a video for every single question, which is kind of funny. But okay, how do you manifest new friendships? It's the same way that you manifest new relationships. And I have a really, really, really good exercise for this. I have it included in my 30 Days of Empress Energy program, which is my inner work self study program. Check that out, guys, if you haven't seen it on my website. And I'm going to be changing my offer soon. So, like, yeah, next live stream, maybe I'll have, maybe I won't have it, maybe I will. Check that out though. But one of the exercises in that program is creating a love list. And that's a pretty good way to manifest new friendships and new relationships. So, what a love list is basically you're going to make a list of all of the qualities that you want in the person you're trying to manifest. So, like for you, it would be friends. You make a list of qualities that you're looking for in friends. That's going to be your love list. And like when you meet people, you're going to basically like see if they match the majority of the qualities in that list. But you're gonna see what happens. And it's that because you've gotten so clear in your mind about like basically like the archetype of what you want that relationship to be like and what you want that friendship to look like, you're gonna naturally like start to attract friends like that. Does that make sense? And you can also look this up, like love list, how to make a love list, if you need more detail on that. Okay, so today's topic is how to manifest. Um, all right, to try to stick to the topic. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question, the loveless question. And if you're watching this on TikTok, this whole video is going to be on my YouTube channel. So definitely check out the rest or the beginning if you missed it, because I don't have that long today. So I'm going to just get to what I wanted to share. So a lot of people know about like what manifestation is through I don't know how you've heard of it. You guys can mention it, but the first time I ever heard about what manifesting was, it was from like people who were really into that book, like The Secret and like the Law of Attraction stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm into that. I wouldn't say that's my thing, but I feel like even before that book came out, like manifestation was a thing. Like manifestation is basically like, you know, it's about like mindset, right? Aligning your energy and then combining it with action to see things happen in your life. So anybody who's ever had any kind of like desire or dream come true can attest to that. Like it wasn't like some magic overnight thing that happened. Like it was, things that they did. It was, an energy they had to step into, a mindset they had to change. Maybe they had to change their environment and then they manifested the thing. So that was definitely a part of like, my story of how I've manifested stuff. And like I said, the biggest example of how I've manifested in my life has been when I've moved. Okay. If you're enjoying this live, click the screen, leave hearts on the live stream so that it can be shared with more people. Okay. So yeah, I know a lot of people are really into this topic. I felt like it was a good one to get into for this series that I'm doing on my YouTube channel. It's basically a glow up guide, and we're going to go into like different topics about how to glow up. So yesterday we did the abundance mindset. Before that, we did how to detach and like detachment. We did a wellness 101. So today's like manifestation 101. And there's a lot that you can say about this topic, but I freaking love this book. You guys need to get into this book. Okay. This is like the first personal development book I ever read that like really, really helped me. So, and I feel like without meaning to, he talks about manifestation a lot too. So yeah. How to manifest, right? Basically, in simple terms, manifesting is when you have a really strong desire for something and then you basically want to see it come out in real life. So, where I've seen this in my life has been when I've wanted to move. Like every time I've wanted to move for whatever reason, I really, really, really wanted to move. And it was for different reasons at different times. So sometimes it was because I wanted to change the neighborhood. Sometimes it was because I literally wanted a bigger space and I wanted to like upgrade. Sometimes it was because my roommate was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had for any time, I had a very strong reason for wanting to move. And then I literally like manifested those things. So I'm going to kind of share how I like manifested my apartments. And like you'll hear, it's not like I'm like, meditating and like lighting a candle or like whatever people, they say manifestation is. It was just basically a really strong desire for something. I had a really strong reason for why I wanted to do it. And then basically from there on, it's like you're not taking no for an answer. Like you're going to make that happen one way or the other. And obviously you have to have faith that it can happen. So like my first apartment, and also like you literally have to have like this kind of, I don't know what they call that. They call someone's calling me. Huh. Interesting call. I'm gonna call back later. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, so where I've seen manifestation in my life has been a lot like when I've moved. And for example, the first time I moved, it was because it was my first time like moving out just in general period. And yeah, somebody called me, sorry. I'm giving examples of like how I manifested stuff in my life. And I'm talking about my first apartment. So when I wanted to move to my first apartment, ever, like that's like a weird time in life. Like you're like in college or whatever, you're trying to move out of your parents' house, like moving out seems like a big deal. Like, finding an apartment at that time, I know we're all like, in different phases of life and I respect it. But at this time, that was a really, really, can you hear me? It cut. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. What I was saying before it cut out was that you really, why is everybody texting me now? Okay. Let me focus. You really have to have like basically like tunnel vision. This is what I was saying before it cut out, that you have to have tunnel vision. And like you really can't ignore, you have to ignore what people are saying. So when I first was trying to move, now obviously we're adults, like we do this stuff all the time, but like at the time it was a big deal that I was trying to like find an apartment. And basically all of my friends and like family were like, no way, there's no way you're going to be able to like get an apartment. Like, why don't you just stay here? And then, family obviously doesn't want you to move. They want you to be with them. So they were like they were projecting their own stuff. They're like, you can't do that. And, they weren't even helping me in the process, even though I kept saying I really wanted to move. And I had reasons too. It wasn't like I was just trying to be like, about myself. Like I had like valid reasons. I wanted to live closer to where I worked. That was one of them. And then, yeah, so basically you have to ignore what people are saying. I had a lot of friends who, mind you, were all kind of making the same income. So you would think, but I don't know. I have a very different way of thinking, but I also have a lot of faith. Like I know like things can happen like that, and they do. I feel like when you start believing that, like it really does happen. But also, I'm not. I just want to make a disclaimer before I even continue, because I know a lot of people who are into manifestation. They do it as like a spiritual thing, like a spiritual practice, and I just want to say I believe in Jesus. Okay, I'm not into like magic and stuff, so I'm not doing any of that. Just saying. Okay, but back to my story. That's true. They do that too. Yeah, and I feel like that's like a different territory. I just want to disclaim that it's not what I'm promoting on here. I'm also not really promoting law of attraction or anything new age. I'm just talking about like basically making dreams reality, and manifestation in itself, just that word is not, aligned to any religion or like spiritual belief, although people use it to like back their beliefs and stuff. When I think of manifestation, I just think of like basically seeing your dreams and desires come to reality. And I don't think that's necessarily like a good or bad thing. I think that's just, something that literally happens that I've seen happen. Someone said, right, you're covering the bases. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm doing a 101 on manifestation, because I know people are like very into this topic. So before going on, I wanted to say that your own space makes a big difference. Yeah, that was part of why I wanted to move. Like and we were talking about this. I'm forgetting the titles of the live streams at this point, but like in one of the live streams, we were talking about how much your environment affects you. So part of me wanting to move, like that really strong desire that I had to move every single time I've moved, has been because I know, like I have a strong feeling that I need to change my environment. And every time I've moved, my life totally like transformed. And it's because sometimes your environment changes how you think, changes your headspace, changes what you think you're capable of. So, that's why I'm using the example of moving a few times. So, yeah. So, someone said it starts in the mindset first before coming to the reality, right? Exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm all about the mindset work. And yeah, so that first time I was trying to move, right, like basically you have to ignore what people say. And, at this time, it's not like I'm making the big bucks. Like I'm a friggin' like lifeguard. I'm making like $15 an hour in a major city. I got hours, but it's not like big money to like, put a deposit on an apartment. Like it's basically like if I was to say to somebody that I wanted to do this, I would understand why they think I can't. Like I would totally get it. You know what I mean? But me, I'm like, it's gonna, some way, somehow, I'm gonna do it. I really need to. Like, I felt like I needed to. I think that's key in manifesting is having a really strong like desire to do that. So this is what ended up happening with that first apartment, right? So I don't know about you guys, but major cities, like they have so many requirements to find an apartment. A lot of people they don't even qualify to rent the apartment because of like, they have like income requirements and like all of these like crazy rules that kind of make it hard. And when I was trying to move, this was the case, and I would like Google and like be on YouTube, like how to get an apartment. Like, I was like trying to really figure it out because nobody was telling me this stuff. And I'm like, how are people getting apartments? How are these girls my age getting these high rises? And that's a different story. Everybody has their different ways, but like I was so confused. I didn't know how people were making that much money to like afford this stuff. And then anyway, so what I would do, I would go on like Street Easy. I would go on all of these apartment rental places. I would see what the prices were. And then I would like look at these other websites where sometimes you can like rent places like temporarily and stuff. And I would like just every time I was talking to somebody, I would talk about like how much I wanted to move, how much I wanted to get an apartment. So then what ended up happening, and this is kind of how like the manifestation stuff works, because also I don't know if this is important to you guys, but when I really want something, like I don't really put a timeline on it. Like I'm just like I just want it to happen. So it's not like I was in a rush, but I did have like a strong desire and I did have a sense of urgency, but I didn't have an exact like timeline. So what ended up happening was that because I don't shut up about something when I really want it, I was talking to somebody. I was talking to my cousin, and I was like telling her I really wanted to move. And then at the time that I was first trying to move, she wasn't even somebody I was considering ever living with because she had her own apartment. But the time came when she had to move out of there. She wanted to move out of there for other reasons, personal reasons. I think the apartment had like mold or something, so like she literally like had to move. And she was like, "Okay, well, now I'm trying to move, like maybe we should look for an apartment together." Boing, hello. And then we ended up finding this. It was just like it was random. It was random. Like we ended up finding this landlord. And it's also like sometimes it's good to talk about the things you want with people because you don't really know like who they know. Like things have like a really like crazy way of working out. So she ends up meeting this landlord who basically like I don't even know if I could say that on the internet, but he has a thing where he tries to make it easier for like people to move into his properties. Like he had like a bunch of properties, and we're like two girls in the city, like So basically, he hooked it up, and we didn't have to provide like income requirement or anything, but we just had to do the first month's rent and like the last month or something. And the rent was pretty affordable, like for the area, and we could pay every month in like cash and stuff. So boom, we just moved in, and we were splitting it, so it was like pretty affordable, and we ended up living in this like awesome. It was almost like a townhome for like a year, and it was great. And then we ended up moving out of there. But I'm just saying, like that was like I think I have a vlog on my YouTube channel about when I moved to that place. So it was a beautiful apartment. That was probably like one of my first ways that I experienced like what manifestation was. Because I'm like, I don't care how I'm gonna get it, like please. And I would like pray and I would be like, please, I just want to move. And, I would look online and like, I don't know, I became like pretty much obsessed. So I feel like having a really strong desire for something is definitely a part of what it means to like manifest. And obviously you have to like take action. So the action that I took on there was I kept talking about it to people. I kept looking into how other people were doing it. And I remained open and I kept faith. So I hope that made sense. And then said, "Do you have any good audiobooks to recommend?" I like to read books more than audiobooks, but it depends what kind of books you like. Because I have a few that I have in my Audible, but it depends on like also the narrator sometimes like pretty much makes or breaks how I feel about the audiobook, if that makes sense. So if you want to get into like a really trippy book, and you're into like manifestation, this is a pretty good manifestation book. But it's low key like if you're not into this stuff, it might be a little hard to follow, but the narrator is pretty good. And the book is called, what is it called? It's called like Parallel. Oh my gosh, let me find it. Parallel. The author's name is Frederick Dodson. Parallel Universes of Self. That's probably the best book I've ever read on like manifestation. It's pretty cool, but it gets pretty trippy. Like it's a little out there. That's probably my favorite audiobook, but I'm not really into audiobooks, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, let me know if that made sense. Okay. Someone said I've read that book. That book is pretty trippy, right? I have to like rehear it sometimes. I'm like, I think I missed that. That book is really, really cool. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys can check it out. I never read the physical book, but I really like the audio one. Here we go. It's pretty good. So yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed that. Leave me a like on the live and definitely go and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed on there. Okay, I actually have a call in a few minutes, so I have to get off, but I wanted to at least come on here and share that. So let me know if you enjoyed this live. Have you read Power? No, I never read that one. Who wrote it? Ever read Imaginary Kids? Nope. Are these also books on manifestation too, or they're different topics? But I'm curious. But yeah, that's my life for today. I don't have that much time, but I'm trying to challenge myself to do this for at least like 21 days. So catch me on live when you can. And if you can't, then they're all recorded and put on my channel. Also, I have one-to-ones, mentorship programs, inner work programs on my website, and I'm going to be changing my offers soon and closing the books for my one-on-one pretty soon, thankfully. So thanks for everybody who's been signing up and reaching out to me. I gotta go. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.